Welcome back, folks. Wow. All I can say is portfolio is popping. The plays I've been sharing on here are popping. Everything seems to be going in the right direction, except me. Look where I'm still at, folks. Yeah, that's right. I did a video this morning telling you that I was going to be home this afternoon to be able to do all the work I want to do. And I got to tell you, this shutdown has hit me personally, big time. I'm going to share that, but we're going to go over the portfolios. We're going to hit. I got a big story, so I'll show some of the stocks and things, big moves I'm making, and on top of that, I got to go share a story that I think is just it's too wild to believe. I'm talking rip pants all the way down. It was bad, lost luggage, so much more going on. It was ugly. Yeah. So anyways, let's go ahead and start with a little bit of the portfolio. So as you can see right now, we are topping out 45 hard K. That's what I like to see. Let's just update it and see if it goes up or down. We lost a quick grand. Anyways, $44,000 up for the day. 2231. So we're up 132,000 since I started sharing on this, plus the 100,000 from the crypto, $232,000 made live on YouTube, no paywall, nothing. We have been slamming, and I continue to buy. Today, you'll even, well, not in this portfolio. I have released some plays in the Discord. If you guys are not in the Discord, make today the day. Membership, boom, down below. I'm live stream trading tomorrow, even though I'm stranded in the house of mouse down in Florida. We're going to make things happen. Yeah, right here. You got the earner. You can get 50% off your first month, take it down to 25 bucks, 80 something cents a day for your first month. Now, this is absolutely huge. Should be at checkout. You don't even have to do anything. But I think if it isn't, it says 50, you can put in fall50. You guys will see that code right here. And we are still planning on getting this course out in the next week or two if I can get home. Second link down below does get you over to the wait list. Get into the wait list now, and you will have the opportunity to take advantage of this. This is one of the big things. You can get into the wait list, and we're going to send a code, all this good stuff for those on that wait list. So join today. Now, taking a look at what I'm doing, I have some special plays I dropped just for the Discord, but the overall portfolio, and one of those plays was $100,000 move, leverage, all kinds of stuff based on prior shutdown. So we're going to see if that pays off. I think it will, but we'll see. For those who have been following along with my crypto moves, there was a lot of people saying you shouldn't buy, it's going to go down, it's going to drop, XRP this, XRP that, 15,000 up. So for those who are following along, yeah, I'll let my results speak for themselves. I know there were people saying I'm done, I'm out of crypto, I'm not buying it. They didn't have a strategy. It was just get out. And I think if you look at how I buy at the bottom, sell at the top, buy at the bottom, sell at the top. This one I bought at the bottom, it started dipping. I sold it all, waited for the bottom to come in, which I thought would be on a certain day. It hit, and I bought 1/3. The next day it dropped significantly again. So I doubled up and put another 30, let's say 33% of the money I had in dry powder, I put back in again. So I doubled my position. And then it recovered. And so now you're seeing how the power of DCAing, and I bought again a couple more times, has paid off. And it's working out fantastic. And I'm happy to be able to get my XRP position back above 6 digits. Today shows why I like that. $10,000 made today on XRP alone. It's my biggest gainer out of everything. Looking at the stocks, they're mixed. I might have to sell CAG, old CAG. We're down 9.66%. Now the good news, I only had 10 grand in, or only 9,000 in, and so I'm getting hit for about 900 bucks there. Some of the other plays though, Baba, 18 grand made. Love seeing that. Continuing down, bullish. One of the ones I really like. I put 100,000 into that the other day. Anybody following? You're already up. Yeah. So a lot of good plays there. So that's what I'm looking at in terms of the portfolios. Taking a look. Let's go ahead and take a look at let's see what we got up here. I got my day. Yep. I want to go ahead and take a look at XRP and all the other ones real quick before I share my story. You guys are going to like this. Now, you guys can see how we hit down here. Remember what I told you? I said anytime we break the Bollinger Band like this, we normally touch the 50. We touched the 50 today, just like I told everybody. Oh, it's not going to happen. It does. And people always try to find reasons, but normally if you go with the technicals, they will tell you what you need to know. All right. And so as I watch this, the 5 is going to cross. If we have a nice green candle tomorrow, we could get back up there and test that 260 to 262 zone and have the 5 cross the 13. It'll be beautiful. And then if we can confirm above the 50, we could be moving up. The big line for me to break is 265, finish above there with a candle. I think we are solidly into the bullish camp. But until then, we got to watch. We have the RSI going up to 53, turning bullish. There's a lot of research I did too. I released some of it in the Discord, and I wanted to show some people the returns, what happened over the last 5 shutdowns on the 2-week return. And these are just based on the market, stock market in general. 2-week return and a 30-day return. Positive, 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 positive. They have been, and this is the reopening date. This is when they actually legally open. So we're not even legally open yet. Now we plan on it. We want to get these votes out there. We want to get the government open again. 2-week return, 30-day return, positive all the way down. In other words, the last 5 returns, including the longest shutdown in history, plus we'll see if this one does, especially with all the money, M2 around the world going up, liquidity everywhere. There is liquidity out there to make sure everyone gets paid. Not just the people around. So we can make sure we make some money. We got a lot of good things going on right now. With that being said, you guys can see XRP doing its thing. Ethereum, my largest position, it has a red candle. What is going on, right? We had a great Sunday. Of course, now pulled back a little bit. But we're still at 35.37 on that one. Double dip here. We usually get to the 13 to the 50. We got there 2 days in a row now. And we're going to see if this can actually start to pump up over the next few days. Remember, I just showed you what happens normally when we open. We're not open yet, but once we do and that money's flowing, I am expecting some good things for crypto in general. Move over to Bitcoin. We'll take a look at this thing. Bitcoin with a nice solid green candle. That's what I'm looking for. Got up there and retested the 13, as I told you. And then the last one, Solana. And then I'll get into my story here, guys. Got up, hit the 13 as well. So everything's doing exactly what I'm expecting, but we need a nice run to finish this thing off. And I got to tell you, we could use it. We could use it. After all this red down here, and look where we were, 145. We got all the way up to 170, pulled back a little bit to 165. I'm okay. We'll see how it goes. XRP, man. Let's go, XRP. So here goes my story. This is how it hit me. The shutdown hit me personally. I want this on video so everybody knows. Right now, I went down to Disney for a few days, had this plan for like 6 months ago, just to get away for a few days and look at some business opportunities I was looking for down here in terms of possible meet and greets. I don't know. We had a lot of things on the agenda for this week. And at the end of it, we were ready to go home and we were checked out. Everything's on time. We get to the airport. We do the luggage tag and everything's good. We go and sit down and the place at our gate is packed and we're nervous about it. But we look at our phone. It's good. Everything's on time, but there's people everywhere. And I'm talking, it looked like thousands of people just kind of sitting on the aisleways, sitting and I'm like, what is going on? All of a sudden, my phone, it says a little message. Your flight has been moved from 6:45 to 8 something. Or no, it went 7 something. I'm like, oh, and the missus looked at me and said, uh-oh. And this is how it begins, she says. And she's, I always say she's smarter than me. And she knew right then that we're probably going to get canceled. And she said that to me. She said, I think we're not going to have, I think we're going to get canceled. And so we're sitting there for, it had to be like an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours waiting because we got there, 2 hours early, especially during the shutdown. And now the people in front of it, I said, where are you guys? Are you guys on the Philly flight? They said, yeah, but it was the one before me. And I sat there and I realized, I was like, these people, they're probably going to get canceled. And I think all the planes that were going to Philly started to get canceled. And they did get, and all of a sudden, they all kind of get up and people are like moaning, groaning. And I look at my phone And my flight, it just said canceled on it. And I looked at the missus and I said, "Holy crap, we just got canceled." After sitting here for like 2 hours. And at that particular moment, we joked about it. We joked about, if it gets canceled, hey, we'll just go back to Disney World and work from there and do a little bit more research and some other things. And jokingly, because hey, where else would you want to break down, right? And get a canceled flight. So at this point, the jokes are no longer jokes, and we got to figure out what's going on. And remember, the airport was a madhouse. And really, I mean, mad, in capital MAD. People were swearing. They were screaming that they were being kept hostage. And you're going to hear why here in a second. But so we go down and we were on American Airlines. We were on American Airlines. Nice as can be when we checked in. Even though it was, a lot of people were already getting canceled and we could see it. There was people upset. They were nice as pie. And of course, we gave them the bags and everything else. So I go up, we know where to go, because the one lady told us. I said, "What's all this line?" When we were checking in, they said, "Oh, that's for people who got they got canceled and they're rescheduling." I said, "Oh," and there were like 50 to 100 people in line there. And I was like, "Oh goodness." And that's, we didn't worry too much. We thought, hey, this will be one of the flights they don't cancel to Philly. It's going to be, straight shot. Everything's good. But it was a late flight. Like I said, we had like 6:45, 7, whatever time it was. And the later you went, the more risk you ran. We found out later, of course. So we go back to the line that had the cancel, and we wait through the line, and we get up there and we say, "Hey, we're canceled." And they said, "Yeah, there's no flights tomorrow." I said, "Yeah, I've never been canceled before. How do we handle it?" This time it wasn't so friendly. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't the happy-go-lucky, cheery. I'm guessing a person that had to deal with upset people all day. I don't know how they deal with it. It just has to be so difficult. I'm naturally a happy-go-lucky kind of person, so I wasn't overly concerned. So I did get them laughing by the end. And they said, "Here's the problem. There's no flights tomorrow," and that would be right now today. 0 flights to Philly. And I was like, "Oh my goodness." And I think as we went forward, there may have been something for Tuesday, but what they said is it was like 16 hours. Like, you could fly to Texas and then you had to go, and then the layover was 8 more hours, and then you had to go. And we had straight shots, like 2.5 hours. And I said, I can't just sit in the airport for 8 hours through the night. Like, you were going into Wednesday at that particular moment. And they said, you wouldn't even be home till Wednesday. And I said, "So you're telling me I can do a 16-hour flight, basically, or 12 to 14 or 16 hours before I'll actually get home?" And they said, "Yeah, everything's booked." They said, "They already canceled so many flights to Philly. You were last flight and everything's already booked for days." And I'm like, "Oh my God." I said, "I'm looking for a straight shot to Philly. I'm talking here to there. What do we got?" And basically, it came down to Thursday. She said Wednesday in the beginning, and she's like, "No, no, no, they're all reserved." I can't do that. She goes, "Thursday's what we got for you. If you want to do Thursday, I can do it now. There's 2 seats available." She said, "2." I said, "Are they next to each other?" She goes, "No." So we booked it. And so I am going home Thursday, but that's not even the funny part. Now we get to the funny part. So I'm here till Thursday. And of course, what do I need? Anybody that's been stuck at an airport, this adds to it. You need your bag. I had my bag with everything in it. Like, I put it all in there, man. The only thing I always keep my laptop on me and my charger for my laptop. And basically one pillow in that bag so it's soft so it doesn't hit. And so that's my carry-on. I'm just walking around. I said, "I just need my luggage." And she was like, "Hey, you don't worry about it. We got your luggage downstairs." I said, "Oh." I said, "I can get my bags downstairs." She goes, "Yep, go downstairs. You'll be good. You can grab your bag, go to the hotel, come back Thursday, and you should be able to fly right home." We moved the fee. Everything was good with that lady by the time we get done. And she seemed like somebody that's like, "Hey, you're going to like this. Go downstairs. It's going to be perfect." And you're thinking, what? Hey, this is going to be great, man. I appreciate this. So we walked downstairs. It wasn't great. It wasn't Christmas. I'm thinking this is Christmas, man. We're gonna get gifts. It's gonna be great. Cookies and hot cocoa, like the Christmas party. We went to the Christmas party at Disney the day one. It was so fun. A little candy cane things. You get treats. This wasn't it. If there could be a 180-degree opposite day of that Christmas night at Magic Kingdom, this would be it. I walk down, there's people yelling. There's a dude saying, "You're keeping me hostage. I can't leave without my bag. I need my bag." And I looked at my wife, I went, and there were hundreds of people standing there. And I'm like, what is this? We just left. This was not the happiest place on earth. Let's just say this. It was ugly. And I mean ugly, like ugly. This is the bad side of people that you do not want to see in public. And I felt for every single worker that was dealing with it. And they were even the workers were turning on each other. It was the one I just walked up. We were only there, we were there, I don't know, 15 minutes. I'm just kind of taking everything in, looking for our bags to that big area with bags. I said, we got to have our bags. She said, it's down here. And I'm looking at the bags and I'm talking to people next to me. They're screaming. I said, hey, man, I go, you Philly? You Philly? And he's like, yeah, I was on that Philly flight, got canceled. And I said, which one? And he said 6 something, whatever, And I was like, perfect. I said, what did they say, man? He goes, I've been down here for an hour. And they said, the bags are in the back. And I'm like, what? And so the dude comes over, who's working. He comes over to me. I say, hey, man, I go, just seeing if I can find my bag. I got all my gear in there. I got my stuff in there. I said, we're not going home till Thursday now. We got a flight. So I just need to know what's up. And the guy sits there and he goes, hey, man, it's union. He said, what? He goes, union. You can't make people do things back behind the wall there, man. It's union. I said, well, I was a union president. I know unions. We're people, I understand contracts and stuff. I just want to know that was what he told me. We're the union. And I said, I get it. I said, all I want is to know, am I getting my bag today or tonight? I should say tonight. It was night. If not, what do I do? Like, obviously, I'm not flying out till Thursday. I don't want to sit here for 24, 48, 72 hours waiting for a bag that's not going to come. And he sat there and he says, look, union. At this point, I'm like, okay, what happened? He goes, let me see your tag. He goes, yeah, right here's the Philly bags. And there's like 7 bags. Remember, this is this plane was packed. I go, 7, dude, there's like, a couple hundred people. He goes, yeah, they haven't put them out yet. And he goes, they're not lost. He goes, I'm telling you, they're not lost. He goes, they're just not here yet. I said, are they going to be here tonight or what do I do? He goes, just go talk to the baggage service. So they send me over to there's like 10 people in line there, and it's like in a corner. No one even knows. I wouldn't have known. So I get in line. I go up. I wait half hour to get in line. I walk up. Dude's yelling at the lady up front. I feel horrible at this point because people were screaming, and I'm just like, hey, first time we're going through it. I was real calm. I was like, I said, we're not flying out till Thursday now. I just want to know if we're getting our bags today. I have like all my stuff in there I need. I just need to know. And she's like, let me see your ticket. And she looks up. She's calm, guy next to me screaming at the lady. She's like, I'm not going to take this. I don't need this. You screaming at me. I'm not holding you hostage. And I'm just like, wow. Anyways, so she looks up. The other girl looks it up. She says, there's no record of your bags. And I sat there. I said, well, I have 2 bags here and I have both slips. She goes, oh, okay. No, your bags are here. And I looked and I said, yep. And he said, my bags are here. She goes, yes. I said, I know. I said, I just want to know if my bags are going to be released tonight because I'll sit here and wait because we have to go to a hotel because we're not flying out for 3 days now. She goes, your bags are here. That's what I can tell you. And I sat there. I said, okay. I go, if I go home to a hotel and come back tomorrow, how can I know if my bags are out here before I drive back to the airport and everything else? She goes, well, you can go online. You can do that. She goes, once they move your bags from the plane that it was on into here, it'll update on the computer and just put in this number. I'm like, that's what I need to know. And I said, if you were me, Would you wait out here in this, or would you come back tomorrow? She goes, if I were you, I would leave here now, come back tomorrow afternoon, and your bags will be here waiting for you. You can have all your stuff. Everything you need will be set for you. I said, so they're not going anywhere? She goes, no, why would they? She goes, we're not going to send your bags anywhere. They're going to be here waiting for you since your flight got canceled. I said, all right, that's cool. I said, that's great. So I go out, and she even said, your bags might even be out there. You don't know. They're going to be doing their thing. And I'm like, okay. So I go out and I bend over, and my pants rip from the top all the way down. I kid you not, my shoe got untied. And somebody stepped on my shoe. That's how many people were walking around, and it got untied. So I bend over, you hear it rip all the way down. Dude, not a little rip. We're talking, you're seeing stock mows, you know, you got the old undergarments there, thank God. So that's rip, and I mean all the way down. I have now, and I have a t-shirt on. I have nothing else. I have the t-shirt, I got my pants on, and now they're ripped all the way down the thigh. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. At this point, I didn't care because there's people screaming and hollering, and I'm just like, wow, how did this get to this point? And at this point, I walk out, my wife's just eyes get big because I turn around and she can see it. It is so bad. And I can't take my t-shirt off. I have all my clothes are in my luggage. I have no clothes. And literally you can see my thigh. It's right there. I can't even make this up. And people are looking and they're screaming. People are sleeping in the middle of the whole, there's people sleeping. And I'm like, what is this, man? So I said, let's go. So I go, and she says, go get a car. Let's just rent a car. We'll drive back to Disney. We'll work from there for a couple of days. And I said, all right, I'll go to Hertz. Now this is where it gets good. So if it isn't good already, I'm doing this video just so I have a memory of this. So I go up there, and this dude comes sprinting, booking, and the lines are everywhere because people all get in cars, right? He comes sprinting right by me, and I thought, please tell me he's not sprinting just so he can get in front of me. He sprints to get in front of me. He literally sprinted, and I was like, oh my God, he did that because I was the only person going into the line, and he sprinted around me to get in. And I just, at this point, I'm just, I'm not even upset at all. I'm bewildered. It actually made me laugh. And I thought, somehow, some way, and it hit me, he's going to ask me to hold his spot after he sprinted to cut in front right before I was getting in line. And I kid you not, he did. He looks at me, he goes, excuse me, man. I go, yeah, what's up? He goes, can you do me a favor? Can you just hold my spot? I forgot my ID. After he cut me off. And I looked at him and I said, why not? I said, go get your ID. I got your spot for you. He goes, thanks, man. And he sprints, and he walks down to get his ID, even though he sprinted to cut me off so he can get right in front of me. So at this point, I see this line, and it's probably an hour and a half line. And I'm like, all right. And I look up, and this video is playing, and it has a barcode, and it says, sign up and skip the line for Hertz Gold. And I'm like, Tom Brady, man, 27 championships. He's on there. He got to be all right. So I sign up for Hertz Gold on my phone within 3 minutes. And I said, rent car. And it said, skip the line. If you're Hertz Gold, here's your number. Go ahead and get a car. You can go right there. And so I put in what I want, SUV, boom, hit it, done. And it was like, honestly, under 5 minutes. And the lines all the way wrapped the queue. And I'm like, it said, and I looked up and I thought, I can just go. And so I just go, because it said, you can go pick up your car in the gold. And so I leave. And the guy gets back right before I leave. He goes, hey, man, thanks, man. And he walks back in. Dude, he walked back in, had a drink, and I'm just like, it was something I'll never forget. Cutting me off, sprinting to make sure he got right in front of me. One spot, even though there was like 50 people in line, and at that point I turned around and I was like, yeah, it's all you, man. So I go back, find the missus, it's 10, 15 minutes later. And we walk, and we got to go. I got the air flowing in the back. And so she's just, we're both just questioning what's going to happen. And I told her, I said, hey, they told me I could check the tickets online. We should just come back tomorrow. And I even checked with the dude too. I went up to him. I say, "You guys aren't getting rid of these. I'm going to come back tomorrow." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You're good." He goes, "You're good. Your luggage will be here tomorrow." And this is the guy handling the luggage. He goes, "I can't do anything." He goes, "But if you're in Philly," he goes, "I'll have your luggage right here tomorrow." I said, "All right, man. I'll come back tomorrow." I said, "We'll wake up. We'll come back early. We'll take care of some things." He goes, "Yep, you're good." He goes, "Check online though before you come back. Just you'll see it. It should say off the plane here. It'll be in baggage services." I said, "Oh, okay, okay." He goes, "That way you don't have to waste your time." I'm like, "All right, this dude knows his stuff." And so we leave, and I said, we go over to Hertz, and I got an SUV. We go to the Gold. There's like no SUVs. I paid for an SUV. I go to the Gold, and I'm like, I don't even know if I can just. So there's one person walking by, and I said, "Hey, man," I go, "Can I just take the Gold?" He goes, "Yeah, just take the Gold." I was like, "Okay." So I just go, I just jump in the car, and there's no SUVs. There's just a car. And so I paid all this extra for the SUV. I drive up, and the girl, and I said, am I good? And I showed her my phone, give her my credit card. And she's like, "Yep, you're good." So hats off to Hertz. All right. Hats off to Hertz. They took care of it, man. I signed up, was able to get in there, get the keys, walk out within, well, after I realized there was no SUVs, within a minute. We got in the car, drove out. The lady took my ID, took the credit card, and within, I'd say, under 5 minutes, we were out the door with a car. Didn't have to. I promise you, there was people who were in front of me still in line trying to get a car after I was already leaving in my car. I'm telling you, that's how bad it was. So hats off to Hertz. They're not sponsoring the channel, but man, I was impressed. Now we get back, and she said, "We need to go to Walmart." And it's late, but Walmart's open. So we go to Walmart down in Orlando. And I'm picking up some pants. Got How you like my new shirt here? I need supplies. I got to brush my teeth, man. I got to have some deodorant, man. I got to have the basic necessities of life. I need creamer for my coffee. I can't be going through life without a little caffeine. So we get everything we need. And we get back, we check in. She got us a place down here. We check in. You guys can guess where I'm at. Put it in the comments. You guys, can you tell where I'm at? The picture's worth 1,000 words. Old Donald back there with his crew. That's where I'm at. You guys put it down below. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. All right. I wake up this morning. The missus, I surprise her. I go get breakfast for us. She's just still sleeping. It's early. I come in, she's up, she's like, "I didn't know you left." And I had all this breakfast food. And I said, "Well, let's just make the best of this." And I said, "Let me check on the luggage. We'll eat breakfast. We'll go get our luggage." So I go in and I check on my luggage. It shows up. It says, "Boom, your luggage has been found." And we put it on the plane to Philly. What? So I'm like, "What do you mean you put it on a plane to Philly?" It was canceled, and they did. They canceled it. They were supposed to hold it. I checked it. I looked at, I'm using Jemmy. I'm going through all. It says they are absolutely not to send it forward if your flight's canceled. They're supposed to give it back to you. That's on them, and they can't do anything about the flight because that was government. But your bags, they're supposed to keep here until you go. Like, they don't just send it to Philly if your flight's canceled. And that's what they did. They put my wife and I's bags. It comes in and it says, "Bag loaded onto new plane." And I checked the plane, and there it is. It's gone to Philly. And so it landed in Philly right now. And so all my bags are up in Philly. I'm down here stuck. So I hope that I can get them when I get back up there Thursday. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, that's my story. So everything everybody told me, "Oh, your bags will be here." Everybody, we're not sending your bags. Your bags will be here tomorrow morning. Come on down. We'll take care of you. I said, "Okay, I'll be there." And nope, they sent it to Philly. So I don't know. My hat's not off on that situation. I'm very, very bewildered. But yeah, that's my story, folks. If you guys want to be a part of the journey moving forward, though, hit that membership, man. We are having a good time. We're making the best of things. Right now, 50% off. We're going to be raising the prices the first week of January. So that's permanent. If you guys want grandfathered in, get grandfathered in today. You will not have to pay that extra cost. And on top of that, you get 50% off your first month right now with code FALL50, but it should be automatic when you check out. We are rolling it up. Let's see if I told you a big story there. Let's see how much we lost or made here. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. We are at 42. All right. Now we've been roughly 40 to 45,000 all day today. And that's what we're watching for. All right, folks. The other thing is make sure the second link down below, join the wait list, get in there for the crypto course. This is for beginners. If you are looking to learn about crypto and all the things you need to know, this is a course you want. All right, folks. I appreciate you stopping by. I will see you in the Discord. Be sure to like and subscribe. Now let's get out there and make some money.